Hey there and welcome back to SnowRunner. Off we are going with a beautiful day of trucking now, aren't we? Now the thing though about this truck though, I really do love the P12 this one is. As you can see, it has a power to weight of a B rating though. This truck is absolutely fantastic though for hauling a lot of heavy goods here and there. But the B rating for power is really the Achilles heel for this truck though. My oh my oh my. And we have compared it with two others right now though. You will see the rest of those trips. But yeah, we do need to deliver 5. And I repeat, 5 of these logs. Now before you go and deliver to the warehouse or to the West Camp or to the mountain warehouse, please do not take the road from the upper northern part with the logging camp. Because this road is extremely long and painful. It is painful because it's an absolute slog though, because of the extreme deep mud, the heavy, very very heavy load, and of course you know the trucks itself are very heavy too. And yeah, the climb alone though, it's very difficult. It's super slow. You can probably manage though, right? You know, it's not the end of the world, but with 350 liters alone you do not have enough to make this entire trip back and forth. So we did refuel this big boy. So yeah, you know what I want to say? I love this truck, but it can do anything. It has awesome tires for deep mud and all. The issue is though its strength. So if you have some extra time and you want to have all-wheel drive and differential lock, use this truck because you're going to have a great time though. Just be aware that you have to take everything a little bit slower though, right? You know? And that's not a bad thing necessarily though, at least for me. But in general, you will see what I mean though, any moment, right? If we go here, all of this is very normal though. But as you can see, it's already a little bit slow. Now imagine you are going through very deep mud or snow and uphill too. The uphill thing is a real struggle with this beautiful P12. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. High gear. I should have engaged it probably a little bit sooner. Let's go high gear now. Well, I also want to say though, right, you know, like I did not know it will do it directly though, but the high gear with this truck is struggling with the heavy loads, so keep that in mind. Yeah, it instantly stalls though. So that's an issue if you focus on high gear a lot. Or else you have to use low gear plus. As you can see, we have everything engaged. All-wheel drive and differential lock is always engaged, so that's a nice one. So no matter what gear you're in. Yeah, and this is the slog that you can actually might expect. It just digs itself in. There's no way out unless you can winch. So that is one of the things though I wanted to test out, right? Of my 3 favorite, well, big rig haulers for long logs. And remember, we did do some extreme heavy cargo here on the right side with the P12. So long logs are super heavy though. Keep that in mind. So for other very difficult jobs though, it is doing straight up okay though. It's really good then. Long logs just takes a little bit of an extra time. So imagine an entire road full of that. That is one. That is beautiful. Now let's go to the P16. Now the P16 over here, I already have set it up though. We do not have all-wheel drive. That's a massive downer though for a lot of people, including me. But I also have to say, does this truck need it? I would say every truck needs it though, but necessarily not really though, because I noticed that because of the strength, oh there we go, it's also a B. For some reason though, it is heavier of course than the P12. Clearly, as we can look at it, it actually has more engine power. So keep that in mind. As you can see, we are going here through the deep snow, and it's really doing well. It is really performing rather well now, doesn't it? There's the double tires. There's no need for low gear. High gear is also stalling. But that's to be expected though with deep snow anyways. And because there's so much weight actually in the front, you don't struggle as much. But if you do struggle though, you sense it directly. You see it right in front of you now. But a little bit of wiggle wiggle. And there we go. And the issue with rear wheel drive though is that you have to push. And in this case you have to pull at the same time. With all wheel drive you only have to pull. And you have more grip, of course, you know. You have more anchors into the ground, one might say. Yep. This is the whole drive back and forth. This is going to be a tremendous job, though, right? A tremendous task for us to complete. It's called the stocking up. And after this one we have another extra one. And then we have the last mission of the region though. Oh boy. We have been a very long time in the Yukon. Alright, so this is a little bit of a slog around here though. It is probably in need of an all-wheel drive. But I do have an all-wheel drive on standby. But it has no differential lock. So that is what we are going to find out though, right? You know, because I have 3 massive logging trucks. And I'm not talking about the 6Z because that thing can do everything. And also has a B rating if I'm not mistaken. Or an A rating of power to... you know, weight, so that is that. But a truck is much more than just power to weight, right? You know, some trucks really do need more power, but it's more like a balancing thing, right? You know, but sure, you know, we could also use it. That's one scout for this task. I don't think it will succeed. It's too light. So we also have to check for weight, right? You know, and how heavier the truck is, the more difficult it is to actually fuel that truck with a lot of power. But we're almost there though, aren't we now? So, well, we are already going a little bit downhill, so that's a great thing though. Yeah, the high gear, man, in these trucks is not for the best right now. It's difficult terrain, so I give the trucks that though. And I don't want to never use the P16 though, or the P12. I don't know, man. Pure classics, though. I wish I had one in real life, you know what I mean? Just install a tent or something right on top of that rig. Oh, and then some hauling through the forest or whatsoever. The great, great outdoors, you know. Maybe the Arizona desert. Different tires, of course, you know. Different everything. But, yeah. You know, it's actually... a log hauler though, IRL, and of course, you know, some heavy other heavy cargo stuff. But if it is a log hauler, you know it is made for some off-roading too, right? So you're doing fine there. But it's an old schooler, meaning raw power, just pistons and valves and everything. No modern tech. That's easy to fix, right? You know, one of these valves and pistons, what, costs $12 or something? 12 to 15, so if something breaks down, it's really cheap to actually repair it, and you can do it on the roadside if you're lucky. And a little bit of a big brain and experience on your shoulders, right? You know, but if it's Some modern stuff? Yeah, one of those digital pumps and valves that calculate everything to precise milliliter. Then you are in trouble though, believe me. Because with that trouble comes cost. Like one of those might be $80. Maybe 100 or something. Right, you know? Sometimes even more. Depends what part it is. Depends how much money they want to take away from you. Come on. Yep. I know. Oh, really now? You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, that's the issue of these trucks, man, I'm telling you. If they get stuck in difficult terrain, they do get stuck. Ay, 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 ay. Well, we might need a rescue service, though. So let's go get one. Welcome to the BOAR. Yeah, it's an all-wheel drive. It is an absolute beauty with an A- in power to weight. It is bigger and heavier than the P16 and the P12 combined. I wish that was true though. You know, it is heavier than either of those. So, yeah, let's see how the BOAR is doing. By the way, we can get a differential lock upgrade though. I believe it's in Michigan. So we have to be a little bit more patient with that little upgrade though. But so far, so good though, isn't it? Let's see, high gear. It is working. We are hauling even quicker with it right now. Through the thick snow. I believe I have the OHD ones on these. Yeah, the difference is night and day though, isn't it? I mean, if you do like the P16 and the P12, I think you do like the BOAR too, right? I think so indeed. Oh yeah, we're digging ourselves in here. Should have realized it a little bit sooner. Because now we might be in trouble, to be very fair with you. This is where differential lock is master, right? Isn't it now? Ay, 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 ay. Let's go a little bit off the beaten road here. Alright. But if I had to choose between all-wheel drive and differential lock, I would go for all-wheel drive. But differential lock, don't underestimate the power of that though, right? You know, with an all-wheel drive, if your rear tires don't have the grip, maybe your front tires have. It's a little bit more, yeah, of an error spilling benefit, one might say. But a good differential lock though, ooh, and a good balance of the truck, can't go wrong there. So far so good. Let's see. Oh, high gear up the hill in deep snow. Yeah, that is something else though, isn't it? That is so different of a vibe right now. There we go. Low gear plus. Just as sweet though, isn't it? As you can see, the differential lock, all the tires do spin at a different speed. Do you see it? Some of them do skip around and everything. Yeah, the traction and the rear one is just slipping away. It's so nice to see these details though. One of the reasons why I'm playing mostly simulation games. It's just like, you know, like if you don't have a simulation truck game, everything just has no details though. You know, it's like Need for Speed. It's fun. It's quick. The story is boring ass stuff though, right? My oh my. If I would be a programmer or a writer for a game like that, I'd hang myself. But the thing though, right, you know, is like bank. You know, those slang words though. Because you're one of the cool kids these days with Need for Speed. Yeah. Anyways, you know, like, it's fun. It's nice. It's neon. It's this and that. But there are no details. And that's kind of sad though. Forza Horizon has details. But it doesn't have the physics. Or the realism. It's a mixture though, I would say, right? Of a light simulator and Need for Speed. Yeah. Something like that. Kind of have flashbacks when I was playing The Crew. Yeah, it was in the days when I did some live streaming though, right? Right before I went back to university. But the thing though is, right, you know, like, I was successful on Twitch, right on the early days of Twitch though, but I did stop. I wanted to study something. And before that, when I was live though, right, you know, I played The Crew with some guys from America, from the USA. And it was cool though, right? You know, like going there in the States and going from intersector and intersector. And they were showing me their places though, right? You know, and you know, of course it's not one-on-one, but it's kind of cool that he told me it's like almost like that. And then he did show me pictures, and it was a woman from I forgot the city name though, but it's where the original Kentucky Fried Chicken is from. And she was kind of proud to show me that. I mean, America and fast food, right? You know, but the thing though is, right, it's actually cool. I do like historical things, right? You know, and she knew that. So, you know, like, hey, man, cool, right? You know, so I did show them a picture of my region where stuff are over 1,000 years old. I mean, you know, we got some history here. You know, like old castles and stuff. It's some nice things, man, you know, but it doesn't matter, like, history that is ancient or modern history, though. It's still a cool fact, though, for real, though, isn't it? Now, I would say this BOAR, as you can see, it is slightly bigger. Well, it is quite bigger, though, if you put them really one-on-one. The suspension does help the BOAR out quite a bit with that. The P16 has a suspension, too. The P16 is slightly longer though, just ever so slightly. But you cannot compare though, huh? That log trailer is so much better on the P16. It is so much better, for real though. But yeah, I mean, we do need the extras that we do not have right now with the P16 for the snow region. I would say we could try, you know what? So we waste, I think we are going to waste another 7,000 to 8,000. Oh wow, power to weight is actually an S right now. And now it's an A minus here. Interesting. So the P16 holds more to its own power than the BOAR does. How cool is that? That is a beautiful detail though. That says a lot. And that gives a lot of credit to the P12 and P16. I believe the P16 is a 16 cylinder. And the P12 is a 12 cylinder, right? I believe so. Alright, let's haul that big boy out of there. Yeah, a little bit closer to the trees. Let's turn this one around. And I think we are going with the Zig Z right now and see how that one fares against the cold, cold darkness. Alright, so what we are going to do right now though is go and pray a little bit so that we don't get stuck here with the Zig Z. Although that will be a very difficult thing to do though with the Zig Z, right? There we go, that's what I mean. Yeah, don't do this with the P12 or the P16 or the BOAR. So what I will do though, I came from the northern part that I advise you not to go to. But my name is Kurigo still on YouTube, so that means that we are going to do not heed to any advice. We are going to do it because I want to compare the overpowered ZigZ with the P12. We all know what will happen though, right? You know, it has more power, it has a longer, well, axis to axis, and we will see how the climb will be, right? You know, and we just did fuel up. Yeah, we did have another fuel station close by. We planned it all ahead of time though, huh? Good logistics here though on this channel. Oh yeah, let's do the little ring around Rosie. Go right through there, through the highway sector to the other map. Oh yeah. This road is going to be so much easier right now though with the ZigZ than with the P12. Because this, no, I would have gotten a whole different truck around here though. Just to get the P12 out of the mess that we are in right now, to be very fair with you. Because these ice trenches that we are digging, they are not big of a help either, right? You know, to get unstuck or to just keep on hauling. It's going to be an interesting little thing. So my plan actually is though to show you the difficult parts and the easy parts that I did struggle with the P12. I might actually skip the basic struggling though, because we all know heavy load, you know, plus mud equals difficult times. And then we have, of course, you know, the extras with the inclines, up and downs, you know, but we will see, we will see. Alright, so this is actually the first part where we did struggle with the P12. As you can see right there, right over here, is our last tire tracks. I have to say though, okay, we did stall a little bit. If I didn't change the gear, it will be way, way better. So we did this to ourselves, but the P12, yeah man, it was like a grandpa with two broken hips though, running up the escalator that is going downhill. Alright, here we go though. This is another little part that we did struggle like there's no tomorrow. On the P12 that is, of course. So let's just imagine that never did happen though, because the ZigZ was just like, yo, new man in town. You know what I mean though. Alright, so this you might imagine the P12 did not struggle at all with though, huh? This is what we were hoping to say. But no, it actually was struggling here. And of course, my dumbass kept it in high gear. We went pretty far in high gear, by the way, I have to say. Alright, low gear plus. Not bad, not bad. Low gear plus is not known for being torque heavy though, so with a lot of trucks. Some trucks, yeah, you know, they are actually. So yeah, as you can see, we did fight here though, huh? A little bit of a deep track here and there. Remember, you can do this with the P12. If you do prefer the P12, like I actually do, then you can definitely use it though. No biggie. No biggie at all. Oh yeah, we had to go sideways there, as you can see. Nice deep trenches. Now in front of us though, huh, there's a little slide to the left. Now the P12 did not struggle there because it is a very tip-friendly truck. Especially with heavy cargo on it. That is not super top heavy either, because logs like that are heavy everywhere. You know what I mean? It's not like a cargo container or something like that. Oh yeah. You know what I want that he add in the game? Bad weather. And I mean it. A lot of wind sometimes though. A lot of hail. A lot of rain. You know, thunderstorms. That will be so nice to have because the worlds will feel way more dynamic. I do make the same mistake as I did before. We have to go actually here to the right. It's kind of interesting, right? You know, sometimes I'm worse than a donkey because they say that a donkey never hits a stone for a second time, right? You know, with its hoof, of course. Well, not me though. A donkey is more intelligent, apparently. Just to help us with the turn, not with the winching upstairs. There we go. Gotta be careful around here, though. It is a tip-heavy place, depending on the truck. Because as you can see, the tire track down to the left is actually going in rather well. And everything from here was just easy mode. I mean, it is going way quicker. I would say it's going like 120% quicker than with the P12. So let's say if it did take us like 10 minutes with the ZigZ right now, let's just say, right? It would have taken us around 25 minutes with the P12. Now, that might be on the extremes. So technically I would say an increase of 70% to 150%. So minimum around 70 minutes though. That is still a 7-minute increase, which is enormous. All the way up to 25 minutes in comparison. But that is just really extreme. So if something would have gone more wrong with mine. So I would just say it's 17. But that again though, this did not take me 7 or 10 minutes, right? So, you know, that is that. But we are not there yet though, right? You know? We are not there yet. Now I am kind of in the mood to do a different little thing. Just go to the west camp, because this is just downhill and that's it though, right? You know? And yeah, I am kind of in the mood to do something dumb. To do something really, really dumb in my opinion. I know you're curious right now, so I will show you once we will do it then. Oh, I'm going to hate myself for it, probably though, but I might be surprised. I really might be surprised. Gotta be careful here, because, you know, the road is covered with ice and we have to turn right by the next electricity pole. I love when the camera is taking over. And we have to go all the way to the top here. Come on. Did not want to turn around. Too much weight, right? You know? Pushing down. Just making of us a little bobsleigh. Can I put it in high gear? I can put it in high gear. This should not be too much of an issue, although it is. Low gear plus, so we have a stable speed. Come on, big boy. Low gear then. Nope, auto gear. Let's go full torque then. We might not be quick about this, but at least we are moving. Trying to grab a winch with a tree, or a tree with a winch. No success. Now, yeah, you know, like, remember that we had to recover something over here before. Like a truck. We did tip over a little bit further away though, so I kind of want to be careful. We had to deliver a container there. A little bit further. Come on, come on. course not. The reads though, huh, of some of these winches. Yeah, I'm actually thinking more and more to get longer winches instead of more powerful ones. But without the power, you do not have anything either, right? You know, so we do need to find the perfect balance there. Right here we did tip, and it's funny that we still do see the tracks of it. And it's a very long time ago though that we did tip here. Nice. Yeah, I have zero fears though to tip with the 6Z, but even the 612 hates though. I mean, you know, we have our limits. We do have our limits, right, you know. So being careful is always advised. What is going on? Oh my god, though. I was actually in reverse. I was accelerating more and more. I accidentally did put it in reverse, though. I thought, oh no, not another tree glitch, though, huh? That I got stuck on to. Oh my god, that was... oh wow. That was an absolute cognitive disconnect right there. By what my mind knew what was going on and what was actually going on, though. Oh, that was an interesting experience, though. That was an interesting experience. It's very embarrassing, though. But man, whew. I didn't feel like we were pushing down, though, right? You know, but oh well. Alright. Boom. There we go. Now, all that we have to do, though, is prepare for the next haul. And that is going to take quite a while. So I will see you once we are ready with it. Alrighty then, huh? Here we go with the bad idea. Talking about a bad idea. I was a little bit worried about the fuel economy, though. But it is actually using 1/3 of the P12 and P16 in the BOAR. Meaning... only 110 liters is enough to go the same distance. How cool is that, though? Now, the issue is, though, that is without a load, you know? That is absolutely without a load. Yeah. You will see about that, though, in a little bit, right? You know, because we are struggling already a little bit, as you can see. Yeah. This is super slow, but that's okay. So was the P16 here. I might be pleasantly surprised, though, because I am pleasantly surprised. Look at how much is sticking out of there. Do you see how much is sticking out of here? Yeah, that is way more than the other trucks. But anyways, to begin with, right, you know, like, it feels good. It feels good. This truck pleasantly surprises me. Now that is going uphill without cargo, deep snow without cargo, and all without cargo. But as you can see though, right now, we are not really losing speed. Can you imagine? Now there's a reason though, why I did choose this one right now, and not for the other jobs. Because in Big Salmon Peak, we do mostly have highway with this thing. The only difficult part is a couple of meters with deep mud or basic mud, and this mountain over here. This mountain is going to be the biggest struggle. But so far, so really good though. So yeah, we are now, instead of using 1/3 of the gasoline, we are now using 2/3. So, and as you can see though, the function is really struggling on though. But yeah, we are drinking a lot more than we should right now. Now, if we are flying up with the snow, we might just be going in low gear. Although, well, low gear minus, I mean, low gear is quicker. And low gear plus is quicker too. Which is nice, but we are losing traction. But we don't really use more gasoline now, do we? 6.1. 7.2. Yeah, we are using almost the same, you know, like liters per minute for the fuel. So that's nice. In low gear minus and low gear plus. What about auto? Not bad. What about high gear? It's almost all the same. High gear is more though by 1.5 points average. So keep that in mind. Now differential lock is a nice thing to have though in low gear. So let's stay in low gear for now. Yeah, this is the first difficult part. And at the bottom, right in front of the other map though, is another massive difficult spot. And I'm a little bit worried about that place though, because without cargo, we did not really go through it easily, you know? Oh yeah, and we also have to hold this one up. Okay, so in Big Salmon Peak, the little path up towards the factory, the first one, right? You know, what we have been working so hard on in the last episode, there is ice on that road. Now, I did not think about that portion right there, because I was thinking about the one that's going downhill to the warehouse where we have to deliver this. So, you know, that is that. Oh, boy. Yeah. We have no steering capabilities almost. Because we are really pushing ourselves forward and we are sliding. Now this little part to the right is going to be the same as before. So I think we're going to skip that one a little bit, huh? Well, it took around 10 minutes or something, right? No biggie, but as you can see, my gas tank will not hold us there though, right? You know, yeah, we probably cannot arrive at my checkup. And the checkup is actually right in front of the border crossing. So we might actually get the ZigZ, or no, not the ZigZ, the Tetrin over here. My god, this is scary. Oh boy. Yep. The Tetrin might actually get over here with a little bit of extra fuel. Oh no, what am I looking at though? I have it on the roof over here, so that's nice. Yeah, and this is going to be a little bit more of what we had before. Just a whole lot of this though, my friends. A whole lot of this. I love it. It is fun. But I have to think about my viewers, right? You know, the viewers' experience. No roads, no problem. I park where I want, indeed. We got a little bit of, you know, like plasters over there. We only have Hello Kitty and SpongeBob plasters though, right? You know, because we're real men here. Yeah, let's get on hauling though, huh? Just 1 inch at an hour. It is smooth though. I have to admit, this is way smoother than I would think it would be. Do I recommend this? If you want to have a personal little challenge, or if you want to have bragging rights, like, oh, look at this. I actually did it with a P16 Actaeon, or Actaeon. So, I mean, it's a nice little thing though. Just don't be like me to actually park over here for a second, because you just sink in the mud. Oh, that's no good though. Come on, keep hauling. Thank you. Oh boy, oh. So this is going to be your first little climb. And we are eating mud left and right. So far we are going further and further, which is nice. And we... oh, no. Okay, we don't have the winch. It's the little truck that can. For real though, I am impressed. But this up climb is... it's pretty normal though, isn't it? But still with the weight attached to it all, I have to say, I am really, really impressed though. We got 53 liters left. I could fuel it up with 80 liters, which was a godsend because we were running out very quickly. Now, we could go to the left there, but that will be quite an issue though. It seems to be very bumpy later on. We just have to try to make it up here, huh? Oh yeah, front wheels are spinning, rear wheels too, but especially the front ones. Yeah, that is going to be a main issue. That was an issue for the P16 too. Come on. Well, apparently we do have to hitch up here. Now, to be very fair though with you, I will not want to drive in that puddle there. So we are going to take a little slight detour. Just a little bit to the right though, right? You know? Now, I kind of wonder how tip heavy this truck actually is with all this weight. I don't want to find out. I'm going to be honest with you there. But I think we will find out anyways, rather sooner or later. Yeah. I have to steer to the right, so if something goes wrong, like now there's zero movement, I could try to grab onto a tree to winch ourselves out of this mud. But I knew this was going to be a big problem though. Remember, we only have 35 liters left, and we are guzzling down like 9 liters, meaning we have a little bit over 3 minutes time to go over to that yellow tanker right over there. Might seem a lot though, but it's not. It's far, far, far from it. I kind of think we have to do a hard left here. Yeah. Yeah, this was the only way to do it, I believe. I could be wrong, but if we go to the right side... Yeah, sure, we do have a lot of hooks there. But one of them might just be out of range, right? You know, and then we are in deep trouble. Alright. Keep going. Yeah, the rear side is kind of stuck, sadly. I made the corner too tight. Yep, there we go. Alright, we are skipping through there. 20 liters remaining. We still have to climb uphill though. Differential lock on, low gear plus on. Oh, yeah. 80 liters. I don't think we can make it though. We don't have the strength to pull right through here easily. It's not a P12 or P16 though, I can tell you that. Doesn't even get close to it. 16, 15 liters. Oh boy, now it's really gulping down on the fuel. 14. We could help out a little bit with this. We have one simple benefit though. This thing has actually an autonomous winch, meaning if we get lucky, we might be in range of that trailer and winch the trailer towards us, you know. Oh, nothing visible here. We are stuck. No way though, right? You know. Ah, rocks in the way. Yeah, there's no way right now. Let's get the Teteran. Well, here we are though. I think together we can do it. We are going to fuel up the big boy first, right? Well, let's not insult the big boys. The little short king right over there. We are going to, you know, refuel up. There we are. Nice. Put that one on. Oh yeah, the croc over here, right? You know, the Tetrain has a lot of power to begin with, so that's very nice. It's such a good truck though. And by the way, we don't really have to worry about the truck right down behind us. It's nicely fueled up to the brim. So what we are going to do though is just pull it right over there. We were so close though. So incredibly close. It's awesome, isn't it? Seeing them work together. Two tiny vehicles. Oh boy, it is a swinger though, right? You know, it's the tail and everything with top speed is a dangerous one to go through. Let's just keep the HUD on right now so you can see what gears and what stats we are using, like all-wheel drive and differential lock. So far so good, but this little part though, the P16 was really struggling here though, because it only had rear-wheel drive. And this thing has both, but sadly we do not have the strength though to move up on our own. The BOAR, on the other hand, with only all-wheel drive, could do this without any issues. The more you know, the wiser you get. Oh no. You see that the front is actually being pushed outward, no matter what we steer towards. Oh boy. Yeah, this is an issue. Come on, big boy. Come on now. We have a little bit of grip here to the right side. Let's brake. Apart. There we go. This is going to be a disaster though later on, right? You know. Yeah. Accelerate, please. Ay, we cannot do it. Alright, so this is what I was a little bit afraid of though. Not just the mud, but mostly the ice. We're not even strong enough to go further than this, which is very interesting. It is unexpected though, but very interesting nonetheless. Yeah, no way. Let's park over here though and get a little bit of help from our croc. Where are you? Can I not read? Down there we go. The TUS 420. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. There we go. Come on. Now, if this is going to be an issue, though, then it's probably as expected, though. But yeah, we are fighting against gravity, not alone, though, but also the way how I did park right over there. Oh, yeah. Okay. Change truck. Can we? Oh, we just cannot. Just a little bit further, though. Nothing. We do need something stronger. Can you imagine, though? All right. Ooh, we cover this one. And grab. Sure. A big friend over here. Oh, of course we are. Typical. Typical with the 6Z. We just grab everything that we don't care about. See what I mean? There we go. Now, mind you though, no chain tires either here. Come on. There we go. Lovely. Yeah, that's the issue right now, though, huh? To change tires. Oh, we're getting there, though. We're getting there. Is it free? Oh boy, yeah, we are all over the place though, and it's going to be a lot more difficult in a single heartbeat. There we go. Yeah, the rear over there though, as you can see, it's already hugging. Okay, let's just lasso and wrangle it out of there. Now I'm going to haul the little Actaeon all the way to the top of that though, but from that side. And later on we are going to fuel him off, and then we might be doing PG. Now this is going to be an easy haul though, I'm almost 100% certain of it. So far, so bad, as you can see. Yeah, we do need chain tires on this thing. Ay, 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 ay. Are we someone that gives up? No. But we do need it. We do need it. I keep sliding all over the place though. Up, let's see. Oh yeah, I love these tires. It's kind of bad though to take them off, but here we are. Little wiggle though, huh? The Actaeon is happy to see us, I suppose. There we go. Now this is not going to be an issue anymore though, we all know that. High gear even? No, high gear doesn't like that. We better try though, right? You know, we better try. But man, this was fun though, huh? A little bit like, come on! Was not frustration. Absolute passion though from my throat right there. Little home stretch here. Now, if you look at this though, huh? We are right over here. I did haul this one from there to there. And right over here we are. I wanted to be on the top of here. A little bit over the pads, you know. And that's about that. Now, the fun fact will be... Right now, we do let a little boy right over there do the haul itself again. It's old enough to do it. By the way, if you do want to see a funny show, right, you know, by accident, I found it. It's called a show from Japan called Old Enough. It's really do send kids, you know, to do just basic tasks, right, you know, to do some grocery shopping for the very first time. And, you know, it's super funny, it's cute. When they are when they are so extremely nervous, you know, and the camera crew is following them. And some of them are actually very brave, you know, no issues at all. They are very nervous and shy and, you know, afraid, of course. But they keep doing it, though. So it's something like light-hearted, though. That's what I am recommending, though, right, you know? It's an interesting show. And it's something that actually shows, like, you know, if you have your kids yourself. Or if you want to have some, right, you know? Like what you have to go through too, huh? For us, it's so long ago that we have done those things. And, you know, like back then, the world was a little bit different than it is now too, right? So, it is something to remind ourselves by, like what goes on their little minds when they do a task on their own for a very first time, you know? Like, it is rather helpful, though, as a parent or a future parent. Or just for a couple of laughs. And by accident, I was scrolling down Netflix. That's what I mean. Because I do spend, like, say, 1 hour on Netflix just to try to find a good show to watch, you know? And I still did not find anything. So what I often do, though, right, you know, I want to watch a movie or something like that. And I've canceled my subscription, by the way. So what happens most of the time is that I want to watch a movie, right? For maybe by dinner or just in the evening. And then I keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And 1.5 hours later, I give up. I told you I'm stubborn. And then, you know, we are just going to watch something on YouTube where the real stuff is. You know what I mean? Ay, 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 ay. I knew this little truck was an issue. I think we actually did push this one to its maximum limits. Yeah, we cannot really move around here. Zigzee, where art thee? Going to be a very tight fit here and probably take some damage. There we go. As expected. Whoppa, there we go. Turn off the engine? No, we will not. We will not turn it off. It can help us haul if it wants to. And we have to go here to the left side though, so let's keep that also in mind. Yeah, it wants us for, you know, like getting stuck here on little hill slopes, but it's more like getting stuck on little rocks though. And I'm a little bit afraid of this part because we can easily tip all of that, so we really have to steer like a maniac. Oh, look at that. We actually had the P12 still here though. That's fun. All right. We're still doing peachy. Yeah, it is actually very difficult to tip that though. But a wrong rock somewhere is just a disaster, you know. And with this experiment, we wasted like 4 times 15k. So that's a lot of money. 60k though for this little experiment. And I am very happy that we did do it though. Change truck. There we go. And boom! Now our supplies will last. Good to have someone to rely on. Here's your reward. Thank you very much though. That is 1.5 trailer. Not bad. Not bad. Now we have the final check and looking after your own. Oh no. More. Delivered to Bill's house, Stevenson's house and Hunter's cabin. Interesting. Okay, wait a minute. They are up in the mountains, aren't they? Oh, yes, they are. Oh, yes, they are. 1, 2. Where's Hunter's cabin then? Hunter's cabin. Is that on this one? Oh, no, that is the way. Ah, the Hunter's cabin, yeah. Alright, so that's going to be a haul and sub. Looking forward to it. See you in the next one. Stay happy and healthy. Don't forget to subscribe though. Bye bye.